Howdy gang, and welcome back to Pool School. In today's money saving episode, I'm going to show you how to not have to buy shock anymore. So let's get to it. Alrighty, before we get started, once again, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Remind you to like this video if you do, subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already, and please share my channel with everyone you know who owns a pool. Alrighty, so since Pool School, and I started this channel, is about saving you as much money as possible, I thought this would be a very appropriate lesson to put on. Sorry I haven't done it sooner, but really quickly, when you purchase pool chlorine tablets, and again, I prefer the unwrapped kind because the wrappers don't do that much good, and I just use salad tongs so I don't touch the product. You're always going to end up at the bottom of your bucket of tablets, regardless of the size, you're going to end up with some chlorine powder, just powdered in fragments. Well, a lot of people, they just throw that bucket away. Don't throw that bucket away. Just take those fragments. You can either just save that one bucket, and every time you go through another bucket of chlorine tablets, all the residual powder that's in the bottom and even the small chunks, just take those and pour them into that one bucket so that it accumulates. What that is that's basically granular chlorine, or most chlorine tablets, the 3-inch stabilized tablets, are trichlor, just call it trichlor, I don't know the technical term, but that's basically what I use as shock if I ever need to treat a pool that's going green or anything like that. I use the trichlor granules. So this is a way to avoid having to do that and buy those, because you've got that right there in that tablet powder. So this is an example of an old chlorine bucket. And you notice down on the bottom there's a bunch of chlorine powder. Maybe a little hard to see that, and there's some chunks like that. I would take that and either just use this as a new storage bucket so that anytime I went through a new bucket of tablets and it was empty, I would pour the other powder into this bucket and accumulate all that powder. So either take the current bucket that finally is done with tablets and use that to store any remaining powders out of subsequent buckets. That way you can accumulate that, and when you need to, you can just pour that in your pool. Now, if it's in bigger chunks, you can take that and occasionally pour it into your skimmer basket with the filter pump running so that it erodes that powder and gets it into your system quicker. I would not make a habit of putting any type of chlorine granules or tablets in your skimmer basket on a regular basis. But on those occasions where you might need to shock your pool, it's not a horrible thing to do. You can pour the shock directly in the pool. Sometimes though, with this kind of situation, those little chunks, they may sit on the bottom too long. So you might want to just put it in a skimmer basket and then run your equipment so it erodes that really quickly. But it's a great way to save money. Now, one quick warning. If you decide to use a different container, let's say you want to use an old container that had maybe other product in it, make sure that container is completely washed out and dried so there's no residual of the other chemicals, because you do not want to be mixing pool chemicals in a bucket like that. It's one thing when they go in your pool and they get distributed with a lot of water around them. It's another thing to put them in a bucket in concentrated form, because that could be very, very dangerous. So don't do that. If you're going to store it in a different type of bucket, make sure, again, it has a lid and that it can be sealed, and make sure that it is completely clean. Don't just empty it. Wash it out, let it dry, then you can put the powder in there. But that is, again, a way to save a bunch of money by using the residual powder of your old chlorine bucket and just keep accumulating that in subsequent buckets. Pretty soon you'll have a decent amount of shock that you can use in your pool if you need to, or if you need to jack up that chlorine level really fast. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below, or as always, you can email me directly. My email is going to come across the bottom of the screen here. It is kennypoolschool@gmail.com. Once again, kennypoolschool@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, have fun, be safe, and always, always, always watch those kids and elderly folk and pets around water. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.